Hi folks, my name is Bob Venturini and I am the host of An Hour with Bob and the other show called Bob's Big Adventure, which started 26 years ago. 26 years ago. But 24 years ago, I started Toys for Tots. I had been doing toy collections for years and years before that even, but never on an organized scale. And 24 years ago, in this very studio, I began my first year of Toys for Tots, a telethon. It was on Channel 3, which was statewide on the interconnect. And we did a show with Cox's help at the time. And we had a 4-hour telethon. And we did it here, I think, for 2 years. And after the second year, it got so busy here that the crowd was out the door and through the parking lot, the other end of the parking lot. And we just couldn't accommodate all the people that were here. It was amazing how many people came to the telethon to donate a toy for Toys for Tots. And that was in the early years, we had the Cabbage Patch Kids, that kid doll, the Furby we had. And people were bringing those in here, even though they were selling them on the internet for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. People were donating them to Toys for Tots. Well, after a couple of years, I realized that it wasn't going to work in here in the studio because we couldn't move people fast enough. It was too crowded. There was only one entrance into the studio and one entrance out. We needed a bigger place. So I asked around, and I got a friend of mine who was a state senator at the time to help me, and he came up with this great idea to contact a friend of his down at the Warwick Mall, Aram Garabedian, and the senator was then Senator John Salona. John Salona talked with Aram Garabedian, the managing partner of the Warwick Mall, and he got set up a meeting for us, and I met with Aram, and we discussed it. And as Aram says every year when he comes up on stage during the Toys for Tots telethon at the Warwick Mall, he says how we met, and it's pretty cool, you know, how he talks about it, how he thought about it, I'll give this kid a shot type thing. But as a result, I never left. I've been there for 22 years at the Warwick Mall. And this being my 24th year doing Toys for Tots, it's also my favorite number, 24. And I figure it would be apropos to retire on the number 24. Just like Jeff Gordon, whose number was 24, by the way. So I am retiring from Toys for Tots effective this December 5th, which is my 24th Toys for Tots telethon. So tonight I thought, instead of the normal Hour with Bob show, and which I would have promoted the Toys for Tots anyway, again, December 5th, 5 to 9 p.m. at the Warwick Mall Food Court. That's this December 5th, 5 to 9 at the Warwick Mall Food Court. And you come down, before you leave your house, shut your DVR on the channel. If you got Cox or full channel, it would be channel 15. And if it's if it's Verizon, it would be channel 34. So Cox and full channel is 15. Verizon is channel 34. You set your DVR on the appropriate channel. You come down to the Warwick Mall. You come up on stage with some toys, and you hand me the toys. We'll talk about who you are, where you're from, if you got a business, whatever. And if you collect a lot of toys, we'll even get into that. And then you can go home and watch yourself on TV. If you're with your kids, you bring your kids up, the same thing. Go home and watch yourself on television. Pretty good deal, right? And you do a good thing. And as I've always said, you know, my son Zachary was young. He's 23 years old now, I might add. When Zachary was young, I used to say, instead of giving your kid, your spoiled kid, because we all spoil our kids when they're young, especially when they're young, instead of giving your kid that 15 toys, give him 14 or her 14 toys and bring a toy down to us, or give him 13 toys and bring 2 toys down to us. at the Warwick Mall food court on December 5th from 5 to 9. And by the way, while you're there waiting to come up on stage, there'll be food there. And you got to see on the pictures. What I did was, I did this fast, by the way. I hadn't planned on doing this kind of a show, but I thought about it. Here we are in November already. It's getting close, and I want to promote my last year as the host of the Toys for Tots, the Victor J. Venturini Memorial Toys for Tots Telethon, and I wanted to promote it in a big way, or as big as I could. And I also want to recognize some of the people that have helped me out. And I will forget people, there's absolutely no doubt about that, but I grabbed some pictures, and maybe I'll do another show and add some of the ones that I don't get to tonight. But I got some people that helped me out have helped me out with the Toys for Tots over the years. In fact, there's some pictures here I put together quickly. There's a in the mall, around the mall, they have the calendar of events in December, and this was, I don't know how many years ago this was. It was several years ago. And this happened to be that December. It was December 11th. They listed December events, and they list the Bob Venturini, where does it say there, something? The event, it's Toys for Tots event, anyway. And then there's Bob. There I am right there, the older picture of me. And here's the Marines, my favorite, the few, the proud, the Marines. We've had some great times together. As you know, if you've watched my show over the years, I dedicate the Toys for Tots to the memory of my brother and my father. My brother was a United States Marine. He was a sergeant in the United States Marines, and my father was in the Navy during World War II. So my brother died from Agent Orange at 49 years old. But in fact, I went to Parris Island because of my brother, and I was one of the first, if not the first, I'm told I was the first, but if not the first, I was one of the first to ever videotape the whole boot camp at Parris Island. I was there for 3 segments. I was there for 4 days, but each day we did a different segment of the boot camp. And here's little Zach when he was little, and with his sombrero on. I don't know if you can see that. Can you get that? Oh, here's the toy drive. This was a couple years ago, I guess. And if you look closely, you can recognize some of the people if you've seen this or been part of our Toys for Tots. My main man there, Robert Black, on stage with the sideburns, the black sideburns. He's an Elvis Presley impersonator, does a fine job at that. But he's also the music director for My Toys for Tots, preceded by Billy Musto, who started with me years and years ago. Billy retired from it a number of years ago, and Robert Black took over, I think 14 years ago, something like that, 14, 15 years ago. And of course, we got a whole bunch of Marines on stage there with us, as you will see on December 5th if you come down to the Warwick Mall, right in the food court, right in front of the carousel. We set up a big stage right there, have the baby grand piano there, and I think in the last, 8 or 9 years, we've had Jim Hitt on the piano, but I don't think he's going to be on the piano this year because I understand he had a major surgery done in the last couple of weeks. So I don't think he's going to be able to be on the piano this year. But somebody will be there. I'm sure Robert Black will come up with somebody to help us out. And Dominic DePasquale will be there. And several other singers will be there in the course. In fact, Dominic's right behind Robert Black in this photograph. You got Robert Black and Dominic DePasquale. Dominic's a great singer. And you'll hear him the night of December 5th at the Warwick Mall. So you want to come on down, get there early so you can get a seat and enjoy the show. And we'll have a lot of the Miss Rhode Islands, Mrs. Rhode Islands, the past and present winners, Miss Teen Rhode Island. There'll be Miss Massachusetts there, Mrs. Massachusetts, maybe even Miss Connecticut. There'll be a lot of past and present winners, beauty pageant winners. There'll also be paws from the Red Sox. There'll be socks from the Red Sox, and there'll be stitches, which is the ball, the person that's the mascot dressed in in the shape of a ball. And there's Ron Murray and a couple Marines, or 3 Marines. Ron Murray is a phenomenal guitar player. He accompanies Dominic DePasquale when Dominic performs on the stage. It's a great event. It's a great night out. It doesn't even cost anything. Bring a toy, I say bring a couple toys, and come on down to the Warwick Mall. And if you work for a business, you still have time to get a hold of me or get a hold of the Marines, call the Toys for Tots and say you want to become a drop-off point. And they'll bring a box to you with a poster, one of my posters or one of our posters, and you put the poster on the box or in front of the box, or above the box, and you collect toys. And that night, you come down with your bounty. You come down with the toys, you come up on stage and hand over the toys, and if you maybe even collect some money. In fact, you'll see, I think among these pictures is a picture of a couple of people that have helped out extraordinarily with the Toys for Tots. And in fact, there's Brian St. Germain's mother here, and she's just unbelievable. In 2006, her son got killed in Iraq, and from then on, she has dedicated a toy drive or a collection drive, money and toys, in memory of her son, Brian. And on top of that, she also redid the West Warwick athletic field to well over about $250,000 took to redo the field. She did that along with the help of a lot of other people, of course. But she collected so much toys and money for us over the years. It's astronomical. In fact, last year it was like $3,800 plus, I don't know, 10 or 12 boxes of toys. Let's see what's for others. Dominic again. And there's Jim Hitt in the background. See Jim Hitt standing beyond Robert Black? Jim will be there, I hope, anyway, even if he can't play, but I hope he shows up. And here's a group of friends. My good old friend Richard Anderson's there with Frank Sargent and Michael. He's a character. Michael's a former Marine. He's got the orange jacket on. And of course, Susan Johnston. She originally is from Rhode Island, moves to California. She works in the movie and TV industry in California, but she's a resident originally from Rhode Island. And she comes back in Christmas season, and she always helps. And we have some fun when she's around. She comes and helps with the Toys for Tots. And you see a lot of people, and there's my good friend. She's been with me, Melissa. She's been with me at doing the Toys for Tots at least 15 years, maybe more. Her and her mother run the Mrs. Rhode Island pageant in Rhode Island and several other pageants. I think New Jersey, Maryland, Illinois. There's 4 or 5 pageants around the country that they run. But Melissa has been invaluable to our event, to the Toys for Tots. She's great at organizing people, lining up the guests. When we set up, when things get going, and I have somebody on stage, the person that comes up on stage usually carries with them a card of the next person or persons coming up on stage. So, you know, I'm not a kid anymore. I don't remember everybody's name, and some of the people I don't know anyway. So the person that comes up is handed an index card of the next person that's due to come up. So I guess I'm giving away a trade secret. So no, I'm not that sharp. I can't remember all the people that come up on the stage to visit me. But Melissa will be the person you would see if you come to the Toys for Tots telethon on December 5th at the Warwick Mall. And there's a setup. This is what the stage looks like before we start. And it's amazing how quickly that stage gets covered with toys and stripped by the Marines during a song and recovered and cleared off again. And half an hour later, as somebody else is singing, the Marines come and they don't take them all off, but they take the most of them out of the way, because otherwise you wouldn't see me. After a half an hour, 45 minutes, there'd be a 10-foot wall of toys across the entire 24-foot stage. So you got to see it. It really is something to see, and I have to thank publicly the Warwick Mall and the folks at the Warwick Mall for their help. Man, they're phenomenal with us. They help us put this whole thing together every year. They help us out, the decorations and everything, and the location, the whole thing. It's just wonderful what they've done for Toys for Tots. And again, Toys for Tots, unlike almost any other charity, doesn't have administrative costs. You know, you give $100 cash to me on stage, I turn and I hand it to a Marine, or a check. I'd rather you give a check anyway, but cash or whatever, it's going right to the Marines. There's no administrative cost. And of course, you give a toy. They're not cutting up the toy. They're giving you the toy to some child. Hopefully, the deserving child. Hopefully, they're all deserving. Anyway, here's an old poster. This was last year, I guess. This is the 23rd. This is last year's poster. In fact, this poster was donated by a friend of mine, Precision Graphics here in Pawtucket. His name is Ron. He's over on Eston Avenue. And these people don't have to do this stuff, but they do it. They do it because they're good people, and they like to help out. And who doesn't want to help a kid? Well, Precision Graphics helps me with the banner, makes the banner for us. And every year, well, they've done it for the last, 5 or 6 years. And you look at some of the names on there. Fitzy's Pub, which is in East Greenwich. It used to be in North Providence, but now that become Mozzarella's again. That's owned by a couple members of the Cello family, if you don't know that. Twin Oaks, been a big sponsor of ours for years, as has Fitzy's Pub and Mozzarella's. And Jiggers, down in East Greenwich. The owner of Jiggers comes every year to the Toys for Tots with toys, not really toys, gifts for teenagers. She always buys new shoes, boots, sneakers for kids, for teenagers, 13 to 18, 19-year-old kids. She spends several $100 to do this on her own. She's a real sweetheart. And also, Allie's Donuts. They made a giant donut for us last year and the year before. And they also bring about 10 dozen donuts. And you'll have donuts there that night while you're waiting to come up on stage. You'll have from Federal Hill, Cafe Roma, Dominic will bring. Last year he brought, I think, Italian sausage and peppers in hotel pans full of Italian sausage and peppers, Italian meatballs. He brings all Italian cold cuts. He sets up the whole table in the back of the stage. So while you're waiting to come up, while I'm talking to somebody else on the stage, you get to make a sandwich or have a sandwich, have something to eat while you're waiting to come up. Or if you're into sweets, you get donuts from Allie's Donuts. Or you may get other foodstuffs, and you got to see a bunch of different food vendors that give us food that night. Subway even does. And we had Burger King, but they're no longer in the mall. But we've had Not Your Average Joe's, I think, is another one. And Buffalo Wild Wings sends over dozens and dozens of all different kinds of wings, chicken wings, to try while you're waiting to come up on stage. So you never go hungry while you're waiting to come up on stage. So if you're just coming from work, you don't have to worry about rushing home to eat, because you can eat right there at the Warwick Mall. And then, of course, there are the restaurants that are right in the mall. There's a good Chinese restaurant right there in the mall. And there's a steak place, there's a pizza place right there in the mall. There are several places to eat in the mall as is. Now here's one of my favorite guys right here, one of my favorite people or groups. This is Don Rodriguez. Don Rodriguez and Christine Bannon Rodriguez run the Don Rodriguez Karate Studio in Commerce Way in Warwick, Rhode Island, off of Airport Road. And they have been with me, got to be 20 years, doing the Toys for Tots. And every year, the week before the telethon, they have an event And the entrance fee for any child to be in this event is a toy. They bring a toy and they enter into this contest that they have at the Don Rodriguez Karate Studio in Warwick. And I usually go to the event. It's on a Saturday before my Tuesday event, usually. And it's amazing to see these kids as young as 3 years old. Yes, 3 years old doing karate. It's hilarious, especially with the young ones. They're so adorable. And I think Don has like 300 clients, or not clients, 300 students there at the Don Rodriguez Karate Studio. But every year, I can count on them for 300 toys. Every year. It's amazing. And here we are at the Pawtucket Red Sox with Paws and a couple Marines. This was last year. This was shot last holiday, or last Toys for Tots. And it's ironic that this year, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with the Pawtucket Red Sox. May or may not move out of state because of they want a new stadium. And I personally think it's a good idea. I think it's what else we got to look forward to in Pawtucket, really? I mean, there's not a lot going on here besides the old Slater Mill. We could use the boost from the economic boost from the Pawtucket Red Sox moving down to the former Apex building and utilizing the water area down there, because the Pawtucket River's right there, and the properties around it, the land around it, hopefully build it up into an economic zone. Maybe revitalize the downtown area of Pawtucket. As it stands right now, nothing else is going to happen. And by the way, if the Pawtucket Red Sox move out, not only don't we have the Red Sox and a new stadium, but now we got a McCoy Stadium with no team. So now what do we got? We got an empty building that's not bringing any tax money at McCoy, and we still got the blight down there at Apex. So it's kind of a win-win deal to accept the fact that the Pawtucket Red Sox belong in Pawtucket. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called the Pawtucket Red Sox. And who had the longest game in baseball history? Be it major or minor league? Pawtucket. So we need the Pawtucket Red Sox. Oh, there I am in front of the Christmas tree in Pawtucket at McCoy Stadium. That's enough for me. Look who this is. John DePietro. That was when he was with Pro AM. John's a big supporter of Toys for Tots over the years. He's helped me out with talking about Toys for Tots, as have a lot of radio DJs. Dan York has, Matt Allen has, Tara Granahan, and of course Gene Valicenti, who I hope I see the 5th of December, along with DePietro in York. Matt Allen can't, oh yes he can, he'll be out of work that time of night, yeah, he should be. He used to work 6 to 9, he wasn't able to come, but now he can come. So let's hope to see Matt Allen. In fact, do me a favor, tomorrow call him on the station. Call all of these people I mentioned and ask them if they're going to partake in the Bob Venturini Toys for Tots Telethon, the last year of the Victor J. Venturini Memorial Toys for Tots Telethon, hosted by me. Not to say it'll be the last year of the telethon, just the last year of me hosting the telethon. Anyhow, who else look at this. It's the man, Zachary. This was Zachary, shot at B101. He was on live radio this day. He was I think he was 4 years old here. Might have been 5, but I think he was 4 years old here. And he, as you can see, he was loving what he was doing. He was on the radio. That was with Big John Bina, when Big John Bina was on B101. Zachary was the co-host of the show that day, his show that day. And this wasn't for like 2 minutes either. He was on the show. He was doing his thing, talking away and having a ball doing it. And here's some toys. This is a kind of toys. Now, people say to me all the time, what kind of toys? What should I bring? Well, first of all, I frown on stuffed animals because a stuffed animal, you don't know if somebody's had it in their house and they may have had a cat with fleas or a dog with fleas and the stuffed animals now got fleas, or it could have been a used stuffed animal that somebody's bringing down. We don't want used toys. You don't want to you're not going to give your own kid a used toy, are you? A broken toy or used toy. Years ago, they used to do that, Toys for Tots, when it first started, they used to accept used toys. And a lot of times people bring in their kids' broken toys. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. You got to give another kid a broken toy. Why even bother? You bring a new toy and bring a decent toy. It doesn't have to be a $20 or $30 toy, but not a Dollar Tree store toy. And here's one of the best collectors of Toys for Tots in my years doing Toys for Tots. Jack over here, and his name escapes me, Ron. They're with the West Warwick JCs and the Kent County Chamber of Commerce. They go to several businesses. In fact, the names of them are on the boxes there. The names of the different businesses. There's a whole slew of them. These guys, Jack has been with me collecting toys probably 20 years. Thousands of toys he's collected. He's unbelievable. He starts, I'll guarantee he's been a month into it by now. He collects toys from all these businesses. He has boxes in all the places. He decorates his own boxes. He buys his own wrapping paper. And him and his friends put out these boxes all over the place in the West Warwick area. The West Warwick JCs, Junior Chamber of Members, they call him, but he's obviously not a junior anymore, but he still deals with it, still does it, still handles it, and he does an unbelievable job, and he's one of the biggest collectors of Toys for Tots in the state. I get my puss is out there, but he's one of the big guns. He's one of the big collectors of Toys for Tots for us. In fact, here's another shot of him. This is his driveway. This is his walkway into his house. You can't walk on the walkway into his house. You have to walk in the driveway. Those are some of the toys. And that's not all of the toys. That's only the center of the shot. There were more toys than that. It goes boxes on either end of that group, and it was boxes on the porch too that I had already taken off. And he collects a lot of toys. He's one of the heroes, one of the big heroes. That's why he's got so much representation here. You can tell he's really into the Christmas spirit, collecting toys. He's one of the people that loves Christmas, and it shows. Anyway, and his name escapes me, but he's with M&G Commercial, and I know him because of a friend of mine that works there, and I met her years ago, and she's wonderful, buying toys and giving toys, and very, very generous person, and she just brings toys and nice toys. And don't you know, last year, you're going to see a picture of her. She'll probably be mad at me when I show this picture, but I'm going to show it. A picture of her pregnant, very pregnant. Now she has twins. I don't know why you people say two twin boys or two twins. No, you have twins. That means two, right? Twins means two. She has twin boys. And they'll realize Christmas this year, or should I say enjoy Christmas this year. They're about a year and a half. But I think it was, well, obviously it was a year and a half ago that she was pregnant, almost 2 years ago she was pregnant, at the Toys for Tot event. I think she's from Austria. Sylvia's her name. Anyway, this is Roma on the Hill. Again, they donate a lot of food to our Toys for Tots event every year. Several $100s worth of food, maybe even more. I mean, it's unbelievable, all the best. The food is excellent. It's making me hungry even thinking about it. The meatballs, like I said, the Italian sausage and peppers. And he's one of the few guys I know around that makes Italian sausage and peppers. And the peppers are they're not like from a can. You see the peppers where they have the sliced uniform piece of pepper? No, these are pieces of peppers that are marinated and sauteed and then put with Italian sausage. They do a nice job. And they have a pizza there. Their pizza's 18-inch. Their pie is 18-inch pie, pizza pie. And it's like $12 or $13 for three, yeah, I'm sure it is. It's three items. You can have three of the assorted items on a pizza. It's I think $13 or $14 the most. But it's an 18-inch pie. Most pizza pies you get between 12 and 14 inches. This is 18-inch pie. It's like a tractor-trailer tire. Almost the size of a tractor. Well, a big a Lexus. Think of a Lexus tire. That's the size of their pizza. And it's awesome. They use a grill. They use an oven brought in from Italy. It's a brick oven, and they use real wood. They cook. The oven's heated with wood, not with gas or electric, whatever, and they can cook a pizza in about 4 minutes. It's really excellent. Anytime I'm near the area, I always go there. There's Dominic right there, and here's the irony: he's Italian, born in Montreal. He's an Italian. So get this one: he's an Italian. I believe he's an Italian. I always thought he was an Italian. Yeah, no, he's Italian, and he's born in Canada, in Montreal, just outside of Montreal, Canada. Great, great guy. Go up there, you tell him Bob said hi. Dominic. Allie's Donuts down in North Kingstown. Now, if you don't know Allie's Donuts, you're really missing out. Homemade donuts, third generation. The grandson runs it now. His name is Matt. Get down there and see him. It's right on Route 2, as the sign says, just south of East Greenwich. And they have the most awesome donuts. In fact, if I lived close to there like I did for a while, I'd weigh 10 or 15 pounds more than I do now, because I love their donuts. And they have such a variety of donuts. I love their jelly sticks. They weigh about 2 pounds. It's 2 meals for me, a jelly stick, because it looks like a double jelly stick, not a single jelly stick. But all their donuts are awesome. I like their old-fashioned chocolate-covered donuts. Here I am getting away. I must be hungry, right? All right, Not Your Average Joe's. American, what is it? Oh, Not Your Average Joe's. Not Your Average Joe's. It's down in the Warwick Mall parking lot. Well, they brought over a whole bunch of pizzas and, I don't know, sandwiches over to the event for the people that are waiting to come up on stage. While they're waiting, or while you're waiting, you get to eat some goodies, some good food, and a heck of a variety of food while you're waiting to come up on stage with your toys, with your money, with your kids. Have some fun. Again, set your DVR, come on down, set your DVR. Channel 15, if you're Cox, channel 15, if you're full channel, which is East Bay. That would be Barrington, Warren, and Bristol. Or if you're on Verizon, channel 34, set the DVR on record at 5, shoot down to the Warwick Mall, the food court, come up on stage, bring us your gifts, talk a little bit, and go home and watch yourself on television. How can you do better than that? On a Tuesday night in December? I got to see you there. Tuesday night, December 5th at the Warwick Mall. Buffalo Wild Wings, right in the mall, right in the Warwick Mall. I don't know how many different kind of wings they have, but I know it's over 10. All different variety of wings that they have. And besides that, I think I counted one. The first year they opened, 60-something televisions in that place. It's crazy. There's no way, I mean, you can't turn your head 6 inches without seeing another TV. Big screen TV, of course. High def, too. You can watch any game you want to watch over there, any sport you want to watch over there. Buffalo Wild Wings, right Warwick Mall, right inside. Right as soon as you walk in and go, as you're going to the food court or as you're going to the carousel, it's right there on your left. And again, big supporter of Toys for Tots, as is the next place, Subway Sandwich Shop. I was surprised that, these corporate places are not usually very good at helping out charitable organizations because, you got to jump through so many hoops to get somebody to give you an answer. But the Subway and the Warwick Mall, right there for us, they take the sandwiches, they cut them in, instead of in half, they cut them in fourths, and you get a piece of a sandwich, or 2 pieces of sandwich, or a piece of this one, a piece of that one. Again, you come up on stage, you bring some toys, a toy or some toys, wrapped in its original wrapper. When we say unwrapped, it doesn't mean you take them out of the package. It just means you don't wrap it up in Christmas wrap, because if you did do that, guess what? They wouldn't know who to give it to. They wouldn't know if it's for a boy, for a girl, for a 3-year-old, or a 12-year-old. So that's why whatever you bought that thing in, that's what you leave it in. Whatever it's in, you bring it up that way. But come on down to the Warwick Mall. And I got to get back to the entertainment. You got Robert Black, you got Dominic DePasquale, Marissa Bettini, you got, who's phenomenal. I hope she comes. She sings the Whitney Houston song, "I'll Always Love You," like Whitney Houston couldn't do, or as good as Whitney Houston could do, I should say. Here we are at Twin Oaks. Great supporters of Toys for Tots. And every year, Bill over there, DeAngelis, every year, if he doesn't fill those boxes, I know what he does. He goes to the store and he buys all good toys and he fills the boxes. And oftentimes, he just adds to what's there. He'll ask for another box. He supports us every year, Toys for Tots. Twin Oaks, one of my favorite restaurants in all of New England. You can get almost anything you want to eat there, from seafood to anything other than Chinese food you can get at Twin Oaks. And they have the best of just about everything. There's nothing there I don't like. Seriously. Hands down, one of the greatest restaurants around. Price, quality, and quantity. You can't beat it. Twin Oaks, one of the hardest places, if you were ever going to build a restaurant, I was in the restaurant business many years ago, for several years. If you were going to build a restaurant, it would violate every rule of having the right restaurant. You don't put a restaurant in an area where you can't see it, you can't find it, you can't get to it. Unless you got GPS or know your way around Rhode Island, you're not finding the place. It's on, I think it's Sabin Street in Cranston, Rhode Island. It's off of Reservoir Avenue. But you take the Route 10 exit off of Reservoir Avenue onto, Route 10 exit, Route 10 to Reservoir Avenue, take a right, and then your very first right. You go down that street to the end and take a left, your dog leg to the left, and you're right down to the place. But it's on a little lake there, right there. You can sit along the window and you can look out at a little lake right there. They call it a lake, but it's more of a pond. But it's water and it's nice. Twin Oaks, one of the highest rated restaurants in the United States. The category is, you read the article there, the Providence Journal article there, and there's several articles there, but one, they rated it as the 70-something highest grossing single location restaurant in the country. That tells you something. Quantity, quality, and price. You can't beat it. Wednesdays, I love going there at lunchtime or dinner on Wednesdays for baked fish, baked stuffed fish. It's like lunchtime, I think it's less than $10. Dinner time's like $12. Awesome food. Here's my buddy from high school. Went to high school with him and his twin brother, Pawtucket West, which is now Shea. He owns Gold's Gym on Pawtucket Avenue in Pawtucket. And he's a big supporter of Toys for Tots. Michael's his name. And been there for years, but since they opened the Gold's Gym on Pawtucket Avenue, Pawtucket. Great place, beautiful building, beautiful place. I've been there. I haven't been working out lately, but I mean, that's my place to go work out if I'm going to work out. Gold's Gym on Pawtucket Avenue in Pawtucket. Go say hi to Mike. Michael Fields is his name. And here's one of my favorite people on earth. This woman is so nice. That's her and her brother. She owns Jiggers down in East Greenwich, Jiggers Diner on East Greenwich. It's one of them old car diners. It was, I don't even know how they got it in there, you know, or just about got it in there. It's one of those old diners that they built either in Fall River or Worcester, depending on who you talk to, because who started the whole diner thing, it depends on where you come from. But anyway, it's a diner just like the modern diner, but they stuck it right between two buildings right there. There's not 4 feet of space on each side of it. She owns it, has owned it for several years. She got a wonderful breakfast and lunch down there. And talk about a nice person. Every year, she buys hundreds and hundreds of dollars in footwear for kids, for teenagers, for kids 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, sneakers, shoes, all different kind of footwear for kids. All brand new stuff, not seconds, not all top of the line stuff. I mean, these things are 50, 60, 70 bucks a pair. She spends several $100 on footwear every year for Toys for Tots. And she's got a heart of gold. Go say hi to Carrie. And there she is again. And I love her. Oh, there's one of the girls that work there. I can't remember her name. It escapes me. Sorry about that. That's going to happen a few times. Oh, there's my friends right there. Right in the middle. I haven't talked about him. That's Timothy. Tim Yetton is his name. And he's my sound man for the Toys for Tots. He'll be there on the 5th. He also plays in a band, and he also owns his own company, sound company. But he'll be there for Toys for Tots. Who's that in the background? That looks like Russell. I think it's Russell Delfusco. Russell Joe Fuso. I think that's who that is in the background. Anyway, come on down. You'll see these folks and Frank, the Marine there in the dress blues over there, the Marine dress blues. And the woman is the head of Salvation Army in Providence, in Rhode Island. That's where you would get your toys, by the way. Now, if you are eligible to get toys, you don't get them that night. It's not, we collect the toys. I don't dispense them, I collect them. Where you get them is on Broadway, I'm sorry, Broad Street in Providence, at the Salvation Army on Broad Street in Providence. And you must know if you've applied for it. And if you hadn't, the time to do it is now. Go on www.toysfortots, and it'll direct you to where you gotta go and what you have to do to get toys, or call Toys for Tots and look it up. The phone number I don't have on hand. Anyway, again, there's my friend, some friends here on the stage. Look at the toys. The stage gets full several times in the course of the night. We filled over a tractor-trailer truck in toys. It's pretty amazing. It is really, really amazing, and it really makes me feel good at the end of the night. Beats the hell out of me, but and it's a long, long day. I am there at least 12 hours, 12 to 14 hours that day. It really beats me up. And that's part of the reason I'm retiring from it. But it's well worth it that night. You know, leading up to it, even now, it's, you know, I go around. In fact, there's a plaque there that I give out to people that collect, you know, have toys in their locations. And Cellos has 22 of those plaques, 23 of those plaques. I haven't given 22, because I haven't given this year's plaque out yet. And then, of course, I'm not going to give I haven't given last year's blackout. I haven't given last year's blackout, and I haven't given, obviously, this year's blackout yet. So they got 22 plaques. You go to any cellos, any of the 9 cellos restaurants, who, by the way, have been the single biggest supporter of the the Victor J. Venturini Toys for Tots telethon, hosted by yours truly, Bob Venturini. But the cellos family has been phenomenal with me and for the Toys for Tots organization. Without them, there's no way that we would have been as successful as we have been over the decades. We're talking about this a week or so ago, and I have trouble wrapping my head around it. They're saying that I collected about 200,000 toys in 24 years, or 23 years. That's crazy to think. Even half of that would make me happy. You know, I just can't believe it could be that much, but they say that it is. Again, there's some folks at Toys for Tots. I may as well skip that because it's, again, the same people. There's some different people there. There's Melissa again, and there's Susan again, and Ron, and there's my buddy Jack and the gang, and a few Marines. Hey, if you like Marines, you want to see some good-looking Marine ladies, come down there and check out the guys and gals at Toys for Tots. You'll see a lot of them there. Look at these toys. Isn't this neat? This is right in front of that's the carousel, covered, you know, by the banner. The banner blocks it a little bit, and all the toys there that we have there. And I got to thank my crew. If not for John Flanagan, who's with us tonight, John Flanagan directs the show, the 4-hour event at night. Corey and Ryan Welch run camera. As I said already, Melissa runs the floor. There and Susan Johnston and numerous other people. Who am I not thinking of, John? Who else? Who else is there that helps us out? Tim Yetner does the sound. Who else?
Corey, Ryan.
Corey, I get them.
Melissa.
I already said all them, John.
No, you did. I'm just trying to think of
Well, we'll come up with them if I. Oh, here's my man right there. There's Christine Bannon Rodriguez and Don Rodriguez right there, and the folks that work at Don Rodriguez Karate Studio in Warwick. And again, big supporters of Toys for Tots. Thousands of toys over the years. Thousands of toys. There got to be 300 toys 200 or 300 toys every year, and they've done it for over 20 years, so it's got to be up there. And there they are again. But it's amazing. In the course of the night, you will see that whole area. Now that's after it was taken down some. And then a half an hour later, it'll be high enough to block everybody, huh? It would block everybody again. Oh, look at this. This is my buddy's granddaughter, my friends, George and Ellen Dumont. That's their grandkids, and they are awesome. They come down to see me. This little one, she is as smart. Well, they're both extremely smart. And she's only like, I think she just turned 4, but she talks like a champion. And there's me. How many times, John, have I either had a cast on or a sling on or something going on? It's got to be 8 or 9 times, right?
More times than you care to remember.
I know, and it's the truth. That was after a knee. Oh, there she is, right there. There's Sylvia right there, very pregnant in that photograph. It was just before she had her twins. Always comes, always supports the Toys for Tots telethon. She works for M&G Commercial Real Estate Company. And there's my friends from the Pawtucket Red Sox. There's Ron, I know, and of course, my good friend for years and years, Mike Lyons. You might remember him from TV. He was sports host from television for years. And the young man on my right, looking at my right here, I can't think of his name. Sorry about that. I'll hear it. I'll hear it for sure. Susan, I know. Susan Johnston. Again, and she's got all these Nerf. Those are Nerf. What do they call those? The Rubik's cubes. I don't think they're real Rubik's cubes. I think they're Nerfs. Oh, there they are again. Oh, this girl right here. This woman has the most beautiful voice. I've mentioned her already. She has the most beautiful voice. I so look forward to her, and I hope she's going to be there this year again. Marissa Bettini. She has got the most beautiful voice, and let's hope she's there. There's Melissa and her mother. Her mother and her run. Her mother has for years run the pageants in Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maryland, as I told you before, and even Illinois. And there's Robert Black. Doesn't he look like Elvis? I'm going to have to run through these, I think. I'm running out of time. Now, there's the banner. That's the banner from 2015, I guess. Well, it's the 24th. Yeah, 2015, I guess I got that right. And of course, City of Pawtucket's been a big supporter of Toys for Tots, too. Let me see who I forgot here. Who did I forget? Anybody I forget here? The Luckies in East Providence. Mid-State Camera. My good friends down there, Mid-State Camera, every year. Big supporter of Toys for Tots, as is Warwick Beacon. Keith and Mark at Mid-State Camera, and John at the Warwick Beacon. And look at this. Robert Brazil, your best friend there, John. That's your good friend. Robert Brazil. He runs the food court at the Warwick Mall. And there's a whole setup when we start. This is what we deal with. There's the guys. There's Ryan and Corey Welch. Corey works for Channel 12. And there's Ron from the Pawtucket Red Sox. And there's yours truly, in better days, I guess. And there's an older Marine, I guess with their family, bringing a toy and showing a youngster what it's like to give. And there's me with the doctor, Dr. Steinberg. Isn't it Steinberg? He's one of the owners of the Pawtucket Red Sox. Some Marines and Mike Lyons. More Marines. That's at McCoy Stadium. That's at McCoy. The best, I've always said, the best deal in sports is McCoy Stadium. There's cellos and Cox. Cox helps us greatly every year. And then some of the sponsors over the years. Newport Comedy is no longer. Rainbow Creations, my good friend, Joe Filippi. He helps me out with the plaques. He charges me wholesale for the plaques. And Roma, of course. GP Masonry and Sunset Landscaping. Nice guy. There's the 22nd. Do we have that one? Yeah, there you go. That was 2015's card I had made up by Ocean State Printing. Made them up for me. Mr. Adams took care of that for me. And there's a couple ladies at the event. There she is again. Oh, Sylvia's really getting a lot of coverage tonight here, huh? So don't forget, folks, look at that. You can be part of this. December 5th at the Warwick Mall. Come on, join me at the Warwick Mall. Bring new unwrapped toys to the 24th annual Victor J. Venturini Memorial Toys for Tots Telethon at the Warwick Mall in Warwick, Rhode Island. Come on down. You'll see, you get food, munchies, you'll see live music. Oh, I forgot to mention, we have not one, we'll have two different magicians that night. One will be on earlier, one will be on later. At late end, near the end, it will be Matt Roberts, and earlier on would be Jason Morrell. And they do two different kinds of magic. Jason does his hands-on stuff, sleight of hand, moving things, boxes, cut your heads off, and all that crazy stuff. And Matt Roberts does the card tricks. They're both good at what they do. Come down there, it doesn't cost you nothing. Come on down and see them. Look at the toys. A lot of toys. I want your toys to be part of these toys. Toys for Tots, December 5th at the Warwick Mall. Come on down. This is the woman that runs the Salvation Army in Rhode Island. And that's Frank, a Marine. There's Ron Murray. There's my boy Dominic again. Look at the toys. I want your toys to be part of this toys. And I'm told we got 2 minutes left. I'm going to run through these fast. There's Matt Roberts right there. Sleight of hand. He's good. He's very good at what he does. And there's what it's all about, folks. Kids. Joe Rocco. You know that name from the past. Channel 10 Sports. There's one of the owners of one of the cello family. And there's Aram Garabedian, my hero. Look at the toys in front of us, in front of Aram and I. That was 22nd. And look at this. Now that's Toys for Tots telethon, folks. And that's all because of you supporting our event. Look at this. This is amazing. This leaves me breathless at the end of the night. Hurting like heck, but gratified. The Toys for Tots. So come on down and join us. And there's the Lieutenant Governor. He come down last year and the year before. He'll definitely be down there this year too. Come down and see Dan and Susan McKee down at the Warwick Mall that night. And you might see like people like the winner of the Amazing Race has been on there. We've had a winner of Brother, the TV show, the reality show, athletes. We've seen all kinds of people. And TV personalities. There's the weather and the co-anchors on Channel 6. John DeLuca has been a big supporter. He's probably been with me every year. Gene Valicenti, I expect, will be there this year. I hope he's there. And Tony Petrarca will be there. He's been there many, many times. There's Jason Morrell doing his magic. I'm sorry to have to rush through these. And, of course, we have Santa Claus there that night. I almost forgot to mention him. Thank God I noticed it. There's my little girl, Allie. There's a bigger girl, a Mrs. or Miss. She's Miss something. What is she? Miss Rhode Island? Or Miss Teen, probably. Well, have fun. Enjoy the show. Come down and say hi. Even if you don't bring a toy, come on down. Come on down and watch the show, Toys for Tots. The last one. You're going to see me down there, the last one. See a lot of veterans there. There'll be a lot of veterans there. See my buddy Mike, the veteran. See Corey's grandfather. Mrs. Connecticut. That was Mrs. Connecticut. This woman right here, she lost her child years ago. Another Gold Star mom. Anyway, come on, have some fun. Join me and do the right thing. Do a good thing. Let's help every kid have a good Christmas. See you on December 5th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Warwick Mall Food Court. Folks, until next time, see ya.